meeting, as you know, is to review vouchers for our approval and discussion and then approval later. I'm going to allow a few minutes for that to happen, and then once everyone is satisfied with the review, then I'll entertain a motion to accept those vouchers for payment.
That's a legal one. Whatever they're blowing up there right now, I don't know what they're blowing, but.
Do you want me to tell them to stop?
No, I just trying to figure out what it was.
Can this not be provided electronically to supervisors even if it's not on the website? Can this not be provided electronically to supervisors even if it's not on the website?
I think it is. That's right.
It always has, it was before everyone else.
Not, these haven't though, right?
Well, this group has,
Yeah, that group.
This group hasn't.
all the rest of them. Hopefully,
It's just when I came in on Tuesday, I was going to review them in the,
Right. and there
Auditor's
was no
office.
electronic,
right.
or even a hard copy of it. That was the first time that's ever happened with you. But normally, they're providing electronically and also a hard copy if we want them. I normally get mine in hard copy, and I didn't have them in hard copy for this last week either, so I thought.
That meeting you had over the phone, I guess, with Pat Gill advising on the supervisors looking at the claims, what did you find from that, the physical claims didn't exist, like these didn't exist on Tuesday, is that right?
No, they did.
They did.
They were not in our presence for our review, and I felt that was the absolute necessary for us to have them here physically, to look at. And as you know, his office always brings these in half hour, 45 minutes even, because we do arrive early, and we have an opportunity to look at those before we start the meeting. And traditionally, that's what we've always done. So I thought it was quite strange that we didn't have them last week.
and they were done, they were in the auditor's office.
That's correct. And we were working with some issues
To try to resolve those.
to try and resolve those, correct?
To make sure that there was no potential privacy information released.
Correct.
We don't think there's a problem, but we want completely
Absolutely.
come down on that.
Completely make sure.
The one thing I would say about providing electronically is if anything that's emailed, of course, as you guys know, is public record, or could be public record, so it's subpoena.
That is right.
So we've got to be careful to make sure private information doesn't get emailed.
That is right.
So
But even this today on the table, it's now public information. So I'm assuming that is public information.
Oh, definitely.
I've always assumed that when we get it via email for the last, ever since we started going electronic with our packets, which I built, what was that, 3 years ago? We've got them electronically, so.
Correct. And I think what Mr. Gill and Ed and we were trying to work through is, first, if there was a potential for violations, and second, if we email those, they are public record per se here, but if someone wants to look at something, they do need to ask, and we need to determine whether there is a issue with the privacy as to what is contained in those, and that's why we didn't bring them in last week.
And if needed, if somebody wanted to come in and observe them, the information could be redacted, it could be deemed to be private.
Correct.
Would you mind sharing what you found from the security?
Sure, we've gone through, I mean, Gene's been so gracious as to send me 3,600 and some pages to go through.
Did you say thanks a lot?
But if this one column's blank, we're good. So there you go.
But we've gone through some sampling, and it doesn't appear that we have anything that's met the standard of being any sort of breach. There's absolutely nothing intentional, obviously. We're working with an attorney firm out of Omaha that's all they deal with is the HIPAA and privacy issues. They've reviewed initially. They thought we were fine. always leave a caution caveat, there could be something we haven't seen yet. As I said, we do have 3,600 pages to go through. We don't see that there's a way that any of the information that was released, you could actually tie your necessary pieces together. So there may be a tiny piece of information here, a tiny piece of information here, but nothing that appears to, nothing at this point that appears to cross that line
Good.
into an identifiable, usable piece of information.
Good.
How did you find out about any specific HIPAA concern, and was it, were the specific, like, was there some piece of evidence that was sent to you and you reviewed it and it was found to not be in violation, or?
Well, what happened is that we had a meeting where we discussed all of the information that's released, you know, and the descriptors that go with the invoices. So that we're talking about the descriptors, how we might be able to enhance the descriptors so the public could feel more comfortable with what was there, and so we could see that extra little piece of information. At that time, an assertion was made that there was a breach. We looked at the information involved. Clearly, the information involved was not a breach. That was about as clear as it could be. And the outside attorneys agreed with it. We took it to our attorney here in Sioux City, said they couldn't see anything, but they wanted to get the gentleman involved because of the, you know, it's just very complex, very detailed area anymore. He couldn't see anything, but that's why we're going through everything to make sure that we just don't have any violations.
Good, good.
So what is gonna happen with the claims next week? Are they going to be sent electronically like they always have been? I mean, is the issue resolved enough that we're going back to our practice, or are they gonna be held, or?
I think because things were held in course, this is just my suggestion. Obviously, I don't make the decision, so please take it as that. I think because some of the information was called into question, even though it wasn't a violation. If we can do things to take that information that's even called into question and put it in and have it presented in a manner that can't even be called into question, I think we're probably better, and I think we're probably better off, and set that bar higher than it needs to be. If you set the bar higher and you meet that bar, you're always better off than if you just set it barely high enough and you fall.
Well, are you saying then,
Yeah.
not electronic transfer, actually?
When you do the electronic transfers, is it within the city is it from an email address that's within the city, which would be sioux-city.org, within the domain, I should say, I apologize. If it's within that domain, from sioux-city.org to sioux-city.org, you have no violation. If you send that information outside, then what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to send it secure. And the county does have the capability. We have paid for the software. It would be a matter of getting the setup on it. We need to talk to Mr. Malloy and to get them to put that in place. But you could send it what they call ZIX secure, which would mean it was being encrypted email. Then you've got the situation if you send it to an address that's not within the city domain, sioux-city.org. Is it a secure site or a secure email address that it's going to? So if you use the email address that the county assigns to you at sioux-city.org, you can send anything to each other you want, and
And that's a secured system.
Yes. Secure
Well, I
system.
have not been using that.
Yeah.
And supposedly, and I don't think it works real well, maybe Mark, you know, don't you have all of it forwarded to your home? Anything that might, I just feel like some of it never makes it there.
So,
I mean, because they talk about it, emails, I'm going, okay, and I don't, to be quite honest, I don't know how to get that sioux-city.org on my devices right now because I'm not set up for it.
We could set that up for you. I shouldn't say we.
I'm sure.
Please take the me out of that. We as in Woodbury County has the
Okay.
expertise to set that up for you. John Malloy can set, and his people can set that up. They do a great job.
Okay,
The other thing you can do is you can access on your home system, you can access the group-wise system, which is the email system that we use here. And so you could access that on your home. again, the email system itself will be secure. The question is your computer home secure? But if you're using your tablet and you're using the group-wise email, I think it's very secure. But I think that complete opinion to Mr. Malloy.
He's the expert.
In your opinion, do you think various departments are now totally aware that their claims were posted online, will likely be posted online in the future? Do you think there's more education that needs to be done regarding specifically the claims or HIPAA? And do you think any, confusion was at play?
There is some confusion, I think, and there was some concern about some areas that people thought were identifiable that maybe really weren't, and some things that didn't meet the standards under Iowa law of release of information. So I think clearly we do need to do some more education. Some of this has really been kind of a work in progress. It seems like every few hours I know a little more than I did before. So I think we need to probably sit back down again and have some kind of meeting that we had before. Some of the departments honestly won't need to be involved because the information they handle does not involve HIPAA, but we should provide some general information to them.
So they're educated on it.
Yeah, because you have to have that specific medical provider involved for the violation. And for those departments like secondary roads that never deal with a medical provider, there's just no issue. What they're doing is fine.
I've been in healthcare my whole life, so
Yes,
I've
sir.
heard of HIPAA before. My understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, is that in Iowa, we're exceeding all the standards for safeguarding.
For the state law, the state law is not quite as high a standard as the federal law, which I think is good, and that's according to the attorney that we were working with. He said it's not quite as strict as standards, but if you always follow the HIPAA standard and make sure that you've met those federal privacy guidelines, we'll be in good shape. We'll make sure that we're good to cover under state law as well. So that's a very good point.
So the claims will not be on the website or for a while, or will they ever go back there again?
We could, but I think we need to make a couple of, and I'll let you address this.
Right, I think what Mr. Gill was making sure didn't occur, if this can stay on that, we were in compliance, and there is a structured way of every department doing this, if they do in fact have that type of information, then we would be able to post them on the website again because everybody will be in compliance. But I don't think that's gonna happen this week until we have everything back and Ed's able to look at it and maybe say, and you folks, this is the way we're gonna proceed now. This is what the training is gonna be for the accounts payable side to make sure that we don't run into any issues. One question that I have, when you actually send out the claim edits, is it just to the 5 board members now?
Yes.
Okay. So if you're all using the group-wise address, I don't see any issue with that starting again this time if it's going through group-wise.
Yeah, as long as it's through group-wise, you're in good shape.
There's only one little glitch with my GroupWise, and maybe I need to talk with John Malloy on this, is sometimes there's someone in district health that gets my GroupWise emails. I mean, there's some kind of a glitch or something, because she forwards them to me. She'll say, this came to me, and then it redirects back.
You must pull up your last name.
You must pull up your last name. when
Yeah,
you're
I mean,
typing.
J.A. Smith somehow, or J. Smith is common. So that's why I started using my home one, because but I now realize that's not going to work
What we
either.
need to do is to set up a unique email address for you.
That'd be fine.
Maybe do it a little bit different, and I apologize, I can't think of it, but the format that they set it up in, like e-Gill, instead of setting it up that way, maybe yours would be set up with just a unique structure.
I'll contact them and see how they can help me, I guess.
And if Karen is actually sending this piece of information out, she's going to have your correct group-wise email, so it should actually just forward to you like it would internally.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Is
That
that the
seems like more
problem?
of a
Is it wasn't?
mistake of people misspelling your email, right?
I don't know.
I use GroupWise. I don't have a problem with it.
I don't have a problem with either. I just haven't done it, so I need to go back and.
So
Get
what
ready
I'm
to do
saying
it.
here is electronically, we're not gonna post these immediately.
No.
until after we get legal clarification on the HIPAA regulations, and then after that, then
We should be able to
we
post.
should be able to post it.
I think we want to make a couple of corrections, because like I said, I think we want to far exceed the standards. We're better off exceeding the standards.
Correct.
And underestimating anything to work on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, the nice thing about this all is if there's not any major corrections, there hasn't been any major mistakes, and that's what this is. The auditor's office has come out pretty clean on this.
Not that we can see at this point.
There hasn't
Right.
been even minor mistakes, has there?
We haven't found anything that could be considered breached information.
Yeah, and
That's
so this has been a good exercise.
Departments.
Yes, yes.
The county as a whole is doing a good job, that's
Yes.
correct, and that's what this is all about, the county as a whole.
Yes, yes, Mr.
Okay, any further discussion? Did you have something else you wanted to
I
present there?
did have something that, I know some folks from the city had stopped over and talked about veterans preference, and our dealing with veterans preference. And I did want to point out that year-to-date, calendar year-to-date, we've already hired 26 veterans. So we've had our veterans preference in place,
Okay.
and it's been part of our practice, so we have already hired 26 this year, and then we can talk about possibility.
And the fiscal year's still going on, I mean, that's a pretty
Yes.
good record for us, I think.
I think so.
Yeah, kudos to the.
26 out of how many hires?
90.
Okay, did you just say that? But I didn't-
No.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty good, that's over 25%.
Yes, sir.
It really is, that's great. All right,
Thank you.
ladies and gentlemen, have you had a chance to go through the vouchers?
I will accept the claims.
Second?
Okay, any further discussion? Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. So we shouldn't have an issue with the vouchers coming to us next week and doing.
As long as we can figure out how to access our email. we'll be
Changing
fine.
mine now.
Those are two different questions. The question is that we'll send an electronic, or Karen will send an electronic copy with your packet. These will come in, but again, we need to make sure that the public doesn't access them, and that piece I'm speaking for Mr. Gill without him being here, but I will confirm that. The actual edits themselves will be sent to you by Karen through a group-wise email address if you have one. And everybody has one?
That's fine, yeah.
Very good.
Okay. Those in favor of the motion indicate, did we vote on this?
Yes, we did.
Yes.
I have-
If there's no other items.
Not gonna pass it again.
I entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.